Welcome to another Lunch and Learn. Thank you, Chief, for another month of your Lunch and Learn. We appreciate that. Yes. Just a couple of announcements, just so you know. The Longhorn Steakhouse trip, which will be on the 11th, is full, unfortunately. So no sign-ups for that. And we'll let you know the details as that time comes closer for that. Also, Sally has the sunflower, I guess it's a painting craft, right? That's on this coming Thursday, the 7th. So sign up for that. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or?
No.
Okay. Do you have a preview of what it's going to look like?
I'm going to make it and put it up on Monday.
Okay, perfect. Good. And then don't forget, next Friday we do have an entertainer. Heather Brown Dreary is going to be coming in. And she actually is going to be volunteering her time for entertainment. She's a great guitarist and sings some great music, so we're happy to have her. Do you have anything else, Sally?
Nope.
It's boring in here, huh, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to put some decorations up. Yeah. She's working on it.
It's crazy how it can go from bright and vibrant to
No.
Black. Let the people shine.
Exactly.
I like that.
Did you hear what Pat said? Let the people shine. Let all of us shine.
365. 365. You guys make us smile and happy every day.
Absolutely. Pat, do you have anything? No? Okay. All right, let's do a moment of silence before lunch. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Lunch and Learn. My name is Chief Momini. Thank you for being here today. We've got a smaller group, but all the best people are here, right? All right. So today we have a great speaker for you, two great speakers for you. We have Eileen Rice and Chris Emmi from Summit Elder Care. And they're here to talk to you about the PACE program and also offer some summer safety tips. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris first.
Hi everyone, my name's Chris and I'm with Fallon Health and I'm really excited to be here today and talk about one of my favorite topics, which is hydration and summer safety, which is poignant for this time of year, I think, for sure. And I'm doing an abridged version of it because I want to have my friend Eileen talk. Of course, during this talk, please ask questions, tell me your stories. I love to hear everything. I like things to be interactive as well. So I'll begin. When it comes to, When it comes to hydration, did you know that as we age, our sensitivity to being hydrated decreases? And that's something to really be important to note because we need to stay hydrated for all kinds of reasons. And we get dehydrated this time of year most especially. So it's really important. And as we age, that's another really big factor to think about. And people ask, do I get enough water each day? And it really is kind of a crisis in this country because we're just busy. Sometimes, young people are working, going about their lives. And even when we were younger, I can imagine myself, I don't remember having anybody tell me to stay hydrated. Does anybody remember? We didn't walk around with water bottles. In fact, there were no water bottles to be had when I was a kid. It was just, you drink out of a fountain or a hose or bubbler or whatever. And that was how we stayed hydrated. But today, everybody's carrying water around and they're telling us to drink more water, and for good reason. It's really, really important. But in fact, most of us are walking around dehydrated most of the time, and we don't even really realize it. And it can really take a toll on our health. But what's in it for you, right? So when it comes to hydration, it's so good for us because it lubricates our joints. It helps our skin to stay fresh as well. People often say, what are the things I need to do? And they'll lift their skin up on their hand and they'll say, oh, that's a sign. I think I'm dehydrated, when your skin sticks up a little bit. So look for the signs that maybe dehydration could be an issue for you. It also does things like purify our organs. Isn't that something? So it can help flush things out of our body. And there's a lot of toxins in our environment these days, so that's why it's another really important thing to drink water. And often people ask me things like, do I have to drink bottled water, all that kind of stuff? No, the answer is no. Typically tap water is fine. And a lot of people are like, I don't want to lug those things around, and I get that. So any water you can get is excellent. Another question that people get, how do I know if I'm hydrated? And one thing, and I know it's weird because we're all eating, is to look at your morning urination. So when we wake up in the morning, if we did a really good job the day before, our urine should not be dark. And if it is, that means we didn't do a great job the day before. So that's another way for you to determine if I'm getting enough hydration every day as well. Other signs you might look at are things like confusion, dry, sticky mouth. Daytime fatigue, dehydration is the #1 cause of daytime fatigue. Often we feel depleted, we're just tired in the afternoon, and we attribute it to other things like, oh, I must be hungry, I need energy. Often it's just because we're dehydrated, and it can really pep us up. So look for that sign as well. Also, extreme thirst. Often when we are very thirsty, we've already lost over 10% of our hydration and our water in our body. So that's another sign that we're dehydrated as well. Then the next question comes, well, how much do I need to have? And you've probably heard this, right? 8-ounce glasses a day. Is that something you guys have heard? Yep, exactly. Well, that's not realistic for everybody. Not everybody can say, I can get that much. And I also think that that's a depends question, because some people are more active than others. Sometimes we take medications, in fact, that make us more dehydrated. We might need more than 8 ounces, but we also might need less than 8 ounces a day as well. Because maybe we're not doing a lot that day, we haven't been out in the sun to get that dehydration. Maybe we're getting hydration from the foods we eat, right? So for something like if we eat a lot of fruits or vegetables, we can get hydration from that. So that's why this is kind of a rule of thumb, but it doesn't really hold true for every single person. So think about that for yourself and what your own hydration needs are. I put this up here because some people have asked me about how do I get it all in? And I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget to drink my water, and then around 7 p.m. at night, I start thinking, I gotta catch up. Well, that's probably the worst time for me to catch up on my water, because guess what happens? You all know. We're up all night. Yeah. So, don't worry about that. Start again the next day, because who needs to be up all night, right? From not hydrating enough during the day. Another good thing is to carry water with you. Exactly. And carry things with you that you can encourage you to drink more water. So I have a trusty bottle that I carry with me all the time. This is my bottle. Yes, I love you guys. So yeah, carry your water bottle with you at all times. This one's fancy because I can sip or pour. I don't know, it's my kids, they're the ones that turn me on to it. Other ones are really cool, like if you don't just like the flavor of water, you can infuse your water. These are some fake strawberries in here, and they can infuse your water with cucumber or mint, or lemon is a big one, of course. People love lemon water. And this one's pretty cool. This is a company that sells little infusers, discs that you put in the water bottle, and it flavors it, and they just, take your money. But you can put your own fruit in here, and I think that's a better option. Another one that I love is this one. This one you can put fruit inside and then just pop it in, like a 2-quart container, and it just infuses your water. It's pretty cool. I like this one. I like this one a lot. So that's good. And here's just a couple more ideas. Bring it everywhere. Certain beverages, people ask, like, what about diet soda? No. Diet soda does not hydrate you. Typically, it has a lot of chemicals, things that will dehydrate you, so you don't want to have that. Juices aren't always a good option, and you know why? You can imagine what I would say, because I'm a health educator, and juices do not contain fiber. So typically, they just contain the natural sugar of a juice, so I would not recommend those as a hydrating type of a liquid. Herbal teas, in fact, are really good for hydration, and low sodium soups, so homemade soups that you would get here, not necessarily canned soups, because those have a lot of sodium. So we want to stay away from that. Carbonated things like seltzer water, that can be a hydrator as long as it doesn't have the fake sugars, that sort of thing in it as well. And I mentioned, of course, the fruit infusers, so you can bring that. So I love all those type of things. And I don't want to forget about fruits and vegetables, like I did mention. So this time of year, when you have things like watermelon and oranges and all the vegetables that we're getting from the farmer's market and garden, those are excellent examples of hydrating fruits and vegetables. So that would be a reason to not have to drink your 8 ounces, because you're eating some of your water. Now remember, like me, I'm a talker, I'm up here talking, and I'm a talker in general. 100% of my voice, I'm dehydrating myself this entire time. So the more you're a talker, the more water you need. Keep that in mind as well. Any questions on the hydration piece? On that. I'm going to jump over to sun safety, because I think this goes really well with it, especially this time of year. And talk a little bit about the sun. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of a tan, but I do wear my sunblock every single day. And there are the pros and cons when it comes to the sun. Now, of course, vitamin D is one of the biggest things. And women, any women here take vitamin D, especially? Good doobies. Yep, that's amazing. Vitamin D is really, really good for our bones. And it's really good to help us to absorb the vitamins from this wonderful food that we're eating. So as we age, we are not able to absorb vitamins as readily as we did when we were younger. So vitamin D is a vehicle to help with that process. And it also helps us to keep our bones strong. Some people take calcium. Sometimes your doctor recommends calcium. I wouldn't take it unless your doctor recommended it, but that goes along with it as well. So that's a really good thing for the sun. The sun also helps to boost our mood, right? I know when I go outside, I feel like $1,000,000 when I come in, because I'm like, oh, that sun, it fed me. Not too much sun, because then I'm, suffering. But a little bit of sun is good, because it does help that. And it can also, morning sun is the best sun to help keep your circadian rhythms in your body in check. I have trouble sleeping. I'm a middle-aged menopausal woman. I'm always up at 3 a.m. If you guys are, text me. But that is one of the things that's the biggest tip you can do, is get morning sun to help you have a restful night's sleep. It's amazing. So those are the really kind of good things about the sun. Now we've all heard about the things that are damaging about the sun, right? Of course, you can get skin cancers, heat-related illness, even compromise your immune system because of excessive UV rays. So it's a balance, right? People say the sun's bad, others say it's good. I say it's a mix of both, and you really need to take it seriously. But enjoy it, right? It's the best form of vitamin D. So taking the supplement is great. The sun is even better, but in very small amounts. And experts recommend about 20 minutes of early morning sun is all you need for your vitamin D. And that's pretty cool. I love that. So skin cancer I'd like to talk about, because it's one of the most common forms of cancer that are out there. And there are a couple different kinds, of course, as well, of skin cancers. But a great way to protect yourself is to use sunscreen, or my fancy hat that I came around with. It's a great way to protect yourself. But it doesn't protect you from all types of skin cancers. Please keep that in mind. Just because you put your sunblock on doesn't mean that you can get doesn't mean you're not going to get any sort of harmful rays. You can still get harmful rays from the sun. It's a barrier, which is great, especially the mineral types. It is a barrier, but it does need to be applied often, liberally and often as well. Is anybody familiar with these types of cancers? Yep, basal cell, squamous, and melanoma. And you can see through the melanoma one how far down it can go. So it is quite serious, but it is something that is extremely curable, and it's something that you can keep in check, and I love that as well. Well, how do we know if we are at risk for cancer? Does anybody get regular skin checks around here? Ah, yes, very important. I have all kinds of bumps and stuff on my body, and I'm constantly like, what's this, what's this, every time I go to the skin doctor, every time I go to the dermatologist. And she reassures me, she's like, it's fine. But I do worry about it. So depending on your heredity, like your genetics, your mother or father could have been at risk, it's even more important for you to go and get your skin checked as we age. Very, very important. You want to look for things that are unusual. You want to do your own skin checks in between visiting your dermatologist as well. So I recommend, making sure that you look in between your fingers, in between your toes, where the sun doesn't shine, for example. Those places can get skin cancer even if they've never seen the light of day. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, crazy, right? Protecting yourself during the busiest hours of the day for the sun. The sun's most damaging rays are typically 10 to 3, 11 to 3 or 4, depending on where the sun is in the horizon during the year. Wearing those wide-brimmed hats, saw some people back there talking about the wide-brimmed hats. That's really important as well. Being under a tree or an umbrella always adds some extra layers of protection, but you can still have reflective rays come and give you a burn. People have probably experienced that maybe at a beach or something. You're under a tarp all day, but you still got a burn. How did this happen? The sun reflects off the water, of course, so that can be really damaging too as well. Okay, I'm going to spring this on you now. I'm going to have a little bit of a quiz. Make sure you're all paying attention. And we're going to talk about a couple different things. How about this? Fact or myth? You only need to drink when you're thirsty. Very good. That's right. So by the time you're thirsty, you're already starting the major dehydration process. Right? Drinking cold water causes cramps and is bad for digestion. I'm sure you've all heard this before, right? Yeah. It can be a little uncomfortable sometimes to drink cold water if your esophagus, when you drink, if your throat's a little sensitive, but it doesn't hurt you in any way. It's just something that's going to cool your body kind of from the inside out if you need that. Some people are more sensitive, so just be aware of that. It's not going to hurt you. Sunscreen is only necessary on sunny days. Yes, excellent. Excellent, that's so true. You can get a burn on a cloudy day. We know this because it's happened to me before. You don't pay attention and I'll get a burn. Even on a cloudy day, it'll happen to me. Sunscreen should be applied every 2 hours. I think this is a trick question. I apologize now because, in fact, it should be applied at least every 2 hours, but more often if you're in the water, if you're sweating, you would need to apply it even more. So it's really important. And often, how much should you apply, right? There's so many forms now. There's those sprays, which are pretty good, those aerosol sprays. And then there's the creams. There's sticks that you can buy for your nose and that sort of places maybe on your face. Those are good. But for example, if you were going to put sunscreen in a cream form on you, you would need about a shot glass full of it to really cover yourself. And that's to say if you're in a bathing suit. If you're not in a bathing suit, you wouldn't need that much. But you do need a lot of sunscreen, more than you think. It's not just a thin veil, it's a lot more than you think to keep you protected. Any questions? I breezed through this, I know, but I'm open to any questions that you guys might have. Yes?
Thank you. Some of the sunscreens are actually bad. You have to check out your sunscreen.
Oh my God, I love you. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I've been reading about this very recently. And they put a lot of toxic chemicals in sunscreen. And not only are there toxic chemicals in American sunscreen, but they also can be very dehydrating for our skin. And of course, we don't want that as we get older. Our skin's already got problems being hydrated enough. So I would move towards sunscreens that are more mineral-based, right?
The cheaper they are, the worse
Yep.
they are.
That's right. The cheaper they are, the worse they are. And if you can pronounce the ingredients on the back of a sunscreen container and check the expiration date, you're in really good shape. A new one that they're promoting now that's supposed to be really great is tallow-based. Have you heard of tallow-based sunscreen? Yeah, it's great because they make them so clean now that you can buy them. They say that you can eat it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine eating your sunscreen? I'd never eat copper tone. But these new ones out that are mineral-based, you can look them up and find them even on Amazon. And they are very, very safe. Europeans in general have much stricter standards when it comes to sunscreens, and their sunscreens don't have kind of our chemicals. Yeah. That's,
Restriction on everything, from food.
right? It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So it's really, that's a great question, and that's a great observation that's happening now. So people are becoming aware of it, and I love that. Any other questions? I also have some handouts up here about these exact topics, how to identify anything on your body that you're curious about that may be something to talk to a doctor about. And I also have this handy little, it's kind of a relief thing that shows different types of cancers and abnormal cells, and you can kind of feel it and see what it's like, and you can see if it's something that you need to talk to your doctor about, something that you have. And finally, I have a pocket pal that describes all the types of sun safety and what to look for in SPF, what to look for on your skin, and you can just put it right in your wallet or bring it home with you. It's really tiny, but it's good. That's great. Any other questions? Excellent. All right, I'm going to hand it over to my friend Eileen, and she's going to talk a little bit about Summit PACE program.
Do you want to actually do, should we go first?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eileen Rice from Summit Elder Care, which is a PACE program. That is Program of All-Inclusive Care. The E is for elderly, but it's actually 55 and over. We are a division of Fallon Health. It does not mean that you need to have Fallon Health insurance. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. We currently have 5 physical locations. We have one in Webster on Thompson Road, Worcester, Leominster, Lowell, Springfield, and we're opening a site in Dartmouth. And what we do, we provide services for our participants to remain in their home safely for as long as possible with the services we provide. So at each site, we have a social component, which is we have a day program that's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we also have a medical component. So your primary care and your team is located at the site, which each person enrolled has a primary care, a nurse, a social worker, a dietitian, a rehab team if needed. We provide transportation to and from our site for our appointments or to specialists. We also provide services in the home. So if someone is in need of, nursing services, medication management, assistance with personal care, light housework. So it's that all-inclusive model of care. And again, each participant has a care team that works with them. So I have a lot of information here, so certainly, and the program may not apply to anyone here, but you may have a family member or a friend that you know that could benefit from the program. So certainly feel free to share any information. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, we do have lots of information if anyone has any questions.